Paul McCartney and John Lennon once formed one of the most legendary songwriting duos in music history through their work in the Beatles. However, their deep creative bond ultimately couldn't survive the band's dramatic breakup. Over more than a decade of collaboration, McCartney and Lennon began to clash, particularly over financial matters and the future direction of the group. Yet beneath these surface-level disputes lay a growing personal tension. McCartney felt pushed aside as Lennon became increasingly inseparable from Yoko Ono, who began accompanying him to recording sessions and involving herself in the band's creative process. This shift deeply affected McCartney, who noticed that their once strong songwriting partnership had started to fade. Lennon, for his part, began to feel creatively restricted and disillusioned with the band's musical trajectory, which he believed was becoming too controlled by McCartney. These frustrations culminated in Lennon's abrupt departure from the band in September 1969. Although the public wasn't informed immediately, McCartney hinted at the group's end during a Q&A attached to his first solo album. Shortly after, he escalated the situation by filing a lawsuit in London's High Court to formally dissolve the Beatles' business partnership, a move that heightened tensions with Lennon and the other members. Their relationship deteriorated further in the early 1970s, especially after Lennon began attacking McCartney in the press. McCartney later reflected that one of the most painful aspects of their fallout was hearing Lennon publicly criticize him, knowing that Lennon's opinions held significant weight with fans and the media. He found it particularly hurtful when Lennon diminished his musical legacy, especially in Lennon's song How Do You Sleep, which mocked McCartney's contributions by reducing them to a single past success. For McCartney, this felt like a deep personal blow, one that left a lasting mark. He also feared that such remarks from Lennon would stick with the public and reshape how people viewed him. The hurt was compounded by the fact that their creative history had once been so rich and meaningful. McCartney described that time as emotionally taxing, admitting that he became anxious and insecure whenever he reached out to Lennon, often receiving cold or confrontational responses. At times, their conversations became so bitter that McCartney questioned whether he had done something wrong, even when trying to reconcile. Despite the immense achievements they shared, the breakdown of McCartney and Lennon's relationship revealed how fragile even the strongest creative partnerships can become under the weight of fame, personal change, and unhealed resentment.